This video is about identifying similar or congruent shapes on a grid. So a couple things that we need to know first is, what do these terms congruent and similar mean? Congruent shapes mean that they are the same size and the same shape. Basically, that means that they are identical figures, meaning that if we were to draw them on a sheet of paper and then cut out the two different figures and match them up, they should be identical. We can rotate them, turn them, flip them, whatever that we need to do, but they should be exactly the same size, exactly the same shape. Similar figures, on the other hand, are the same shape, but they are not the same size. But the thing that we need to be careful about with them is, just because something looks like it's the same shape doesn't mean it really is the same shape. So we're going to have to look at all of the side lengths and make sure that they're all stretched or multiplied or divided by the same amount. That's the only way that we can make sure that they are the same shape. Now, looking at some examples here, in the top left, we can tell right away that these are not congruent. They're definitely not. If we cut them out, they're not going to match up exactly with each other. The question is, are they similar? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down the side lengths of these. This one's 3, this one's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The top is 1, this one's 2. On this side, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's 2, 2, 2. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and let me finish the rest here, 1, 1, and 2. And then I need to check to see that whatever triangle I start with, if, for example, if I start with the small one, if I multiply one of the sides by 2, for example, every single side needs to be multiplied by that same factor. So 3 times 2 is 6, 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 2 is 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. Yes, these are similar. Next, it does look like that if I cut these out, they would be exactly the same size and shape. We've got 1 here, we've got 3 here, we got 1 here, we got 3 here. So these are congruent. And one thing I should have mentioned earlier is that congruent shapes are always similar, because you just multiply every side length by 1. So if the shape is congruent, it will be similar. Next, in the bottom left, we are definitely not congruent. And then I need to write down the side lengths. And that's 1, and that's 5, 1, and 5. So I can't see any relationship between these. If I take this side, and let's say I match that up with this side, I'd multiply by 3. But 5 times 3 is not 2. Even if I did it the other way, if I took this one and matched it up with the 2 here, I would be multiplying by 2, but then 5 times 2 is not 3. So these are definitely not similar. Next, in the bottom right, definitely not congruent. And I can just even eyeball this and tell you that they're definitely not similar, because they're not even the same shape. One is an oval and one is a circle. Here are just a few more examples. Top left, these are both circles, and they both have a diameter of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they are definitely identical circles, which makes them definitely similar as well. In the top right, we have two shapes that look to be the same shape, but they're definitely not the same size. So that means they're not congruent. I'm going to quickly write down my measurements here, and then figure out what the scale factor is, what I multiplied the small one by to get to the large one. And make sure that that factor is the same all the way around. Okay, so this side right here, I multiplied by 2 to get to 2. So I think that's going to be my rule, is 3 times 2, 6, yes. 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, and 1 times 2 is 2. Yes, these are similar. And I will say, just be really careful when you're checking for similar figures, because you might get a couple sides that look like that they have been multiplied by the same scale factor, but not every side has. So you're going to have to check really every single side to check for similarity. Okay, the one on the bottom left looks like one that we've already had, except this longer rectangle looks like it's turned to the side. They're definitely not congruent, and this one's a 2 by 3 rectangle, and this one's a 1 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's definitely no way to get similarity from there, no scale factor that would be the same all the way around, so this is not similar. And in the bottom right, I can tell right away that they are not congruent. I don't think that they're similar either, because the one in the top right, it has a length of 4 on the bottom, and this one right here has a length of 1 on the bottom, so we multiplied by 4. But this side right here, there are both 1s, so we did not multiply by 4 there, so these triangles are not similar.